Hey guys, so here's the podcast that you've all been waiting patiently for over the last few months. Me and my husband finally sat down and recorded our birth story. So I am super stoked that he was able to join me on the podcast. You know, he's the first guy to ever be on the podcast. And who knows, maybe I can get him to start co-hosting some episodes with me so you guys can see a different perspective on, you know, our relationship or personal development or parenthood or just some of these, you know, tough life events or just life in general that people don't really talk about a whole lot. And me and my husband are very opposite in personality. I would say that he's very structured, very routine, and I am very fly by to the seat of my pants and just like, let's wing it. So we are two opposite ends of the spectrum, but somehow we work really well together. And so I think you'll kind of see that in this birth story too. And just, you know, full disclosure, this is our birth story. Everybody's birth story is their own. And so I don't want you to feel that at any point in time listening to this, that I am discounting anybody else's birth story. This is simply just our experience, and I wanted to share it with people. I do have some very strong opinions about myself in terms of birth and the birthing experience. And again, is this in no way, shape, or form a dig or anything at anybody else? This is just how I feel about these things. And so we're just really open and honest and raw and real about our experience. And I hope that you have a few takeaways. And if nothing else, just do some research on what works for you in your particular situation. And all I can hope is that you feel confident in whatever decision you make in your life, in your child's life, in your pregnancy, in your marriage, in your job, in your career, in your business, in all areas of your life. So without further ado, let's dive on in. All right. The episode everybody's been asking me about. Whoop, whoop. We're going to talk about our birth story of little baby Brooks. He's snoozing right now. Oakland just went to sleep. She may or may not wake up, I guess. She's just been figuring out how to climb out of her crib, so it's been fun. All right, so where do we start? I think it was this time last year.
Yeah.
We found out I was pregnant, right?
Sure.
I remember, I think it was like a week before Thanksgiving. And I think I asked you to come into the bathroom. Did you buy the pregnancy test again?
Yeah.
You did? I thought so. I was trying to write it all out the other day. And I was like, I forgot if you got the tests or if I got them. But I remember going in the bathroom and taking the test and coming back out because there was a faint pink line. Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that we were doing this together and I told you to go pee on a stick again.
I know, it was like the exact same. I just remember coming out to the kitchen and you were like doing dishes or you were cooking or something because I had peed on like one or two of them and the line was like super faint. And then I remember like Googling like, is a faint line mean you're pregnant?
Well, yeah, because we bought those shitty, cheap things. I totally understand where they have the ones that say, yes, you're pregnant, or no, you're not pregnant. Because otherwise, every time you look at it, you're like, okay, was it one line that means you're pregnant, or was it two? Why are there 3 lines on this one?
Why does this one have a sad face or a smiley face?
Yeah, am I supposed to be sad that I'm pregnant? Is this for people that have accidents?
Oh. Anyways, I remember coming out and saying like, I think you should go take a look at those tests. And you went in there and I don't know. Did you remember looking at them?
Yeah, you couldn't remember. Yes, yeah. You couldn't remember if 1 line meant you were pregnant or 2 lines meant you were pregnant. And I read the box and I was like, no.
Am I pregnant?
You're pregnant.
That sounds about right. So then what happened?
I don't know. I think we scheduled a doctor's appointment.
Google, schedule me an appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, at the time I didn't do like any research or anything. I just, from after having Oakland, not that anything like went wrong, but I don't know. I just didn't like the whole.
Well, right after we found out, we went back to our doctor that we had with Oakland and scheduled an appointment with that OB and saw them for, 90% of the pregnancy.
No, it was only halfway.
90% of the pregnancy.
It was only halfway.
And then about at 95%, well, hold on. At 90% we went to that doctor. Then at 90%, you said, hey, no, let's go to this other doctor. So then we went there and we saw them for 5% of the pregnancy. And then at 95%, you said, hey, you know what? I lied. I think I'd rather see this other doctor. And by the way, I think I want to have it at home. At which point...
You're jumping way ahead.
Yeah.
Way ahead.
Well, that's the timeline. That's just the timeline.
We have to talk about the pregnancy.
Oh.
First.
Oh, yeah.
And how, like, that last trimester, I went, like, insane.
No, see, the whole pregnancy went by so fast because you were such a joy to be around. God.
Okay, so we first started going back to our normal doctor. I was fine the first trimester. Like, I don't think anything really changed except for I was super tired.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I was really, really, really freaking tired. But anyways, so we started going back to her. And I don't know. I think we went to her a couple of times. And then I started saying, like, hey, I want to switch. I want to do something else. And then I forgot I was going to go to the Siouxland Women's one. Because that's where I went first.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was going to switch. And then I went down there. And it was like a total clusterfuck. So I just got back in my car and I left. And you're like, what are you doing? You have an appointment. I was like, I'm not going. Screw it. And so then I was going to go back to the OB that we originally saw. But it was like every time we were there, it was the hurry up and wait. And I don't know, I just hated that. And you like hang out in the waiting room and then you go in there, you pee in a cup, they prick you, they do all these things. You see like 4 different people and then you talk to your doctor for like 3 minutes and then you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that. It was like, yeah, I mean, you waited in the waiting room forever. It just, yeah, it didn't seem very sincere, I guess.
And not like personal at all. For like such a big life event, you would think that it's a little bit more.
But I think it's more about the scan than anything. Like it's the behind the scenes work, like the blood work and, the ultrasound and like really the doctor reviews them. And if there's not anything for them to, tell you about, then there's really not anything to tell you about. It's more precautionary, I think, than anything.
I know, but they could at least like tell you like what's going on. They just basically say like everything's fine, you're good to go. Do you have any questions? And it's like, well, I don't even know what questions I'm supposed to have because you're not educating me on this process, and it's not something that like people talk about. Like it's not like, yeah, we like touch on health class like pregnancy, but it's the baby comes out of your mom's vagina, and that's about the extent of it. Like, they don't teach you about all the different options.
Penis, 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 vagina,
vagina. Repeat after me. So, I don't know. I started to feel like there was something different. And then, me, the hippie comes out, and I'm like, women have been giving birth for thousands of years without doctors, without hospitals.
That was like, I swear, the behind the scenes, like, secret research you were doing without telling me.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I research everything. I know. I started listening to podcasts and reading all the books and asking everybody questions. And so this is all like stewing in my brain before I even like mention anything to him, because you are like, you have to know all of the facts. And even if you don't, you already have like an opinion about things because that's how things are supposed to be. And that's what normal people do. Like, why do you have to always be difficult? I remember you saying that to me. I can't tell you how many times.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Tell me I'm always being difficult and can't do things the easy way. But yeah, this was stewing ever since after we had Oakland. I'm like, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. But I didn't know if, like, at that time I had no idea that I would, like, we'd end up having a home birth. I just thought that we would do something a little different. But I just didn't know what. So anyways.
Well, you had me. I mean, I was freaked out even with Oakland because you were like, "Yep, I know everybody does epidurals. I don't want to do epidurals, and I want to do it this way, and this is my plan, and let's write it down on paper, and then let's leave the paper at home and not bring it with us."
The paper is not my job when I'm like in freaking labor. The paper was the last thing. And then we get there and we give them the stupid birth plan and then nobody followed it.
Yeah.
We might as well have just not spent all that freaking time. That was the other thing that pissed me off. Work on a birth plan.
Yeah, I think that's probably what turned you off more than anything about the whole hospital experience. With
They didn't
Oakland
give a shit about my birth plan.
Yeah, everybody you talk to says, okay, make a birth plan and talk with your doctor about it. And, like, we did all that shit. And then it got to having the baby, and the birth plan went out the freaking window.
Yeah, they didn't. Like, the thing that pissed me off the most is that, like, I had clearly said, and maybe I just need, like, a code word. Like, unless I'm screaming pineapple, don't ask me for an epidural. But I felt like every time they came in there, they would ask about it, and they.
No, I don't know. At one point, you were like, "Give me the fucking epidural," and they're like, "We're not giving you the epidural."
I was at a 9, and I was like, "This is crazy! I'm insane! Why did I do this?" And then boom, she was born like 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
But now I know that they call that transitioning.
Oh, you transitioned with Brooks. Let me tell you.
We'll get to that.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, we were going to our normal doctor, and then I was going to go to a different doctor that somebody else had recommended to me, but it still was the same experience, just at a different hospital. And so I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And so then we went and looked at 2 other hospitals.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable just going to the other hospitals, though, because I was like, I really want to go to Sioux City because they have the NICU, and, like, if anything were happening, I guess I was more concerned, like, I didn't want anything. If something happened, I wanted to know that we were the best place that, could help, and that included both you and Brooks. So, like, even going to one of the smaller town, like, more, I don't know, relaxed type hospitals, I freaked out about that a little bit.
I know, it took like 2 months to convince you to even go look at the other 2, Orange City and Sioux Center, and they're both still technically hospitals, but they have like smaller birthing centers versus kind of like what Sioux City is. It's like a big like general hospital with like a birthing floor. But I don't know, I didn't like how, I don't know, I just feel like it's such a natural process and you shouldn't intervene unless something like comes up that you would think you would have to intervene, and I mean.
Yeah, I guess one of the reassuring things, like, and when we went and met with the midwife the first time, I was like dead set, nope, I don't even know why I'm here, I don't give a fuck what she says.
You were so mad at me.
I am here because I have to be.
We're not quite to that point yet. So then we go to the 2 different birth centers, and one we liked right away.
They were nice because the rooms were big.
Rooms were super. They had full-size beds.
It was, very nice.
They
like,
had,
the beds were big enough we could all 4 of us could have gotten in the bed and like chill together. Like, that was the crappy part about the Sioux City Hospital, was that
it looked like a freaking hospital room.
Yeah.
Like, everything's bright white, not comfy.
Yeah, I think when we were there, I spent like 3 days and I slept in a crappy recliner,
Yeah, it was awful.
Like, even the pull-out bed thing sucked, so I think I just slept in the chair the whole time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really liked that it had, like, the big jacuzzi tub, and they had, like, all of the...
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That they had the tub and the big beds,
they
and
had,
the
like, big giant
and,
TVs, and then the snack room.
And they had, like, a legitimate, like, decent waiting room for people that were, coming to visit. It wasn't just like, I don't know. Teeny tiny room off the... Like a closet, yeah.
Yeah, basically everywhere that we were at, or the other place was like a closet. No, it had like it had a nice waiting room, and it had like windows all on the one side where it looked out to like a garden, basically, instead of looking out over to a rooftop or a parking lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, have a baby. Look at these rocks on this beautiful roof.
So I guess it's the small things that add up, maybe. But I really did like that. I totally, if we were going to do another one and decided to do it at a hospital, I would probably go for the small town hospital versus the bigger hospitals.
If we did a birth center or a hospital, I'm not going back to that first experience. And again, it wasn't anything like wrong or traumatic. It just, I don't know. I felt like I could do better. So if we could do better, we might as well do better. But so then I started going to that clinic and seeing that OB. She's like an OB general practitioner. I can't remember what, but she does a couple different things. So she's basically our family doctor, and then she was going to be my OB too. And she's she's all of our doctor now. And I really liked her. She's I don't know. She just seemed pretty chill, pretty laid back, which is kind of what I like. I know some people really want like their doctors to do the work for them or tell them what to do, and that's not really. I don't know. I don't jive well with that. I'm more of the laid back, tell me what I need to know. I'll ask questions along the way. I don't know. What do you think?
Pretty much wanted somebody that was there in case the doctor was needed, but otherwise you didn't want to see or hear that. It was like doctors should be seen, not heard.
Basically, yeah. Like I like oversee this process happening, but let it happen. Like, don't intervene if everything's going according to plan. Like,
get in the corner.
Get in the corner and shut up. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Oh, what were we saying earlier about that?
I don't know.
I don't remember either. So then I started going to that doctor. I was up until...
That was what, 90 or 95%?
34
I think that was at
34 weeks.
That was at 95%.
34 weeks.
Yeah.
I went there from like 26 weeks or 20, because I think we switched right around the halfway mark, because I remember getting an ultrasound at the other place, and then we switched like 2 or 4 weeks after that. So it would have been like 24 or 26 weeks that we switched. And then at 36 weeks I switched. No, 34.
Yeah, I don't think so. As far as I remember, is like I think we pulled into the parking lot and you were like, nope. And I was like, no.
Stop it. So then we decided, so we'll say I'm at like, I don't know, between 24 and 34 weeks. We were going to the birth center. And at that time I had talked to a few people that were like, you need a doula. Everybody needs a doula.
Oh,
fuck. Make sure this is still recording. Okay. And so I don't know, I went back and forth on it. Like, do I need a doula? Do I not need a doula? Do I want a doula? Do I not want a doula? And I figured, well, what the hell? I might as well have the extra person there. So I did go out and talk to a few different people. Will was not happy about any of it.
I was pissed.
You were, I think pissed is an understatement. Like, you were fucking livid. Like, you were like, fuck all the doulas!
Okay, you gotta look at it through my point of view.
Please,
it was like
tell everybody.
It was like a slap in the face, though, because for Oakland, I was like the birthing coach. Like I was totally, I know, I was totally the support system. Like I did all the shit and the back massages and the fucking.
The only time I ever get back massages is when I'm in labor.
Okay. Anyway, so I was that person for Oakland, and then when we had Brooks, you're like, hey, I want a doula, and I was like, what the fuck do we need a doula for? Like, that's my job. Like, that's why I'm here. That's the whole point. I'm there. Like, and I don't know, I guess I just got so pissed off. I was like, well, if you get a doula, then what the fuck am I doing there? I might as well.
Well, and I think...
Call me when it's born.
Oh, stop it. I know what you mean, but that, like, I was thinking the exact opposite of that. So I wanted you, because the thing that made me mad about the first time is that, like, you were running, I don't know, I just felt like you weren't with me all the time. And so the purpose of a doula this time is that I wanted you to be with me more, but I think you were so mad about it that you weren't with me more.
I don't think that's the case.
But that's what I wanted. I basically wanted a doula to be there to help both of us and maybe, like, give you some pointers, but then basically, like, be an extra hand. Kind of like what a nurse would be, I guess. You know, like somebody just kind of like taking care of things. But yeah, that was not how it went in the beginning. And so we went and met with her. How did that go?
I was civil.
If looks could kill.
Yeah, I think she definitely knew that I was not on board.
Well, I kind of gave her a heads up that on the way there I was like, if my husband kills you today, I apologize. I apologize in advance for my husband's behavior. He's very, very angry. Or I said something like that. And then we get there and she's like, he hates me.
She said that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, God.
I think she said something along the lines of, like, this is normal. Like, most guys get angry about this, so it's not... I don't think it was anything that she had dealt with before. Like, I think a lot of guys feel the same way that you do, like they're being replaced or something, but that's not the point of a doula. At least from what... Or from, like, my standpoint, it was just to have somebody, like, extra hands, like... Give me the water, get this or get that. Because, I don't know, I felt like you got taken away from me a lot at the hospital. And then I, like, would lose concentration. Then you'd come back and you'd be like, relax, breathe. And I'm like, quit fucking leaving and I will quit freaking out. Like, but I know you were talking to nurses and you were, like, going in and out of the waiting room and updating everybody. And so, like, in my head, I'm like, if I could hire that part of it out, and then you just stay with me, then I thought it would be worth it. And, I mean, we can talk about how that kind of went. But, so yeah, the doula, we ended up keeping her. We kept her. But yeah, you weren't happy about that. I don't even know if you were on board with it until, when did you start to feel okay about it, or did you?
No, I don't think I was ever... I don't know. She wanted to come out. She met with us a few more times and, like, came out and she kind of did, like...
Questions, consultations.
Yeah, a little bit. Where she was like, these are the types of things I do. These are the stuff I bring... this is the stuff I bring with me. She talked about, like, I can do it, or I being her, she could do it, or I could do it.
Oh, I lost there.
And
so, like, do what, though? Like, tell people what it was that she was showing us.
Like, different techniques to relieve pain and help, I don't know, calm you down, which, looking back...
I was calm up until that, like, last half hour, so we'll talk about that in a minute, though.
So, yeah. I think when she came out, because she came... The cool thing about this was, like, all the visits and stuff, the doula and the midwife came out to the house, so that was really convenient.
Yeah, we only had to meet them, I think, a couple times. Otherwise, they kept coming out here, which was so nice.
Yeah. So yeah, she came out, and I think at the point where she came out and discussed, this is the type of stuff I do. Then I kind of was like, all right, well, if nothing else, then it's an extra set of hands, I guess. So then I was like, fine, whatever. And then she also talked through, like, as we got closer, I think we met with her a few times out here at the house.
Yep.
And she was like, usually what happens is, people call me first and I come out, before the doctor, and, and she pretty much reassured us, like, you're going to know when you want us to come out, but, I'll try to be the first one out here and help.
She was the first one out here, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, she kind of said, just call me and then I'll call everybody else and we'll get this baby out here soon.
So we hired her, and she's the one that recommended the midwife, because I had said something to her. I was like, man, I don't know, like, the more research I do, the more podcasts I listen to, because I was listening to a podcast called the Birth Hour Podcast.
Well, time out. So to be clear, like, the doula will come to the hospital if you want to have a hospital birth, or she'll come out.
She'll go wherever.
Yeah, but she happened to know this midwife, so Sasha was listening to this podcast, and
I listened to it, like, nonstop.
Oh my God, she listened to all these, like, horror stories about people that had hospital births, and
there was a lot of bad hospital births.
Oh my God, that's all it was. Like, you started listening to these things, and I was like, "Good Lord, no wonder you want to have."
Lots of people have these stories. It's not just like, it's not just on the podcast. Like, that is very, very common. Like, I know tons of people who are like, yeah, I wanted to have a natural birth and I ended up with a C-section, or the doctors told me I had to get induced, or like just all these things. And I don't know. I just wanted to hear all the stories and like what people thought before they had the baby and then after they had the baby and what they would have done differently. And they recommended different books to read and different shows to watch. Cause then we watched that movie.
Oh my God.
The documentary.
Okay, before we even get to that,
okay.
though, like, I think at any point, I mean, if you listen to these podcasts, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're never going to have a hospital birth.
Basically,
I mean, after all the things that you hear, and that's, I mean, you've got to know going into it, when you start listening to that, it's all going to be like stuff that, I don't know, it just seemed like it was so anti-hospital, it was ridiculous. It's like, once you get to that point, there's no turning back.
Maybe.
But then we watched this.
It was exactly what I wanted to hear, though. Like,
excuse me, yeah. But then we watched this, what was it, a documentary?
Yeah,
it was like the history
Business of Being Born. The Business of Being Born. It was Ricky Lake. Remember?
I don't know. Fuck, if you want.
It was a good documentary. I liked it.
For the record, nobody should watch that thing. Oh my God. That was like.
Why?
The worst of the worst birth stories ever. Yes, it was.
That's normal.
They talked about how they used to like knock bitches out and then make babies come out.
That's what they did, though.
Oh,
like, they used
God.
to tie people's feet up in fucking straps and gas them for days. They'd shit and piss all over themselves until their body, like, naturally gave birth to the baby. So, like, your body takes over and you're totally unconscious. It's insane what they would put women through. Like, it's insane. Like, I cannot wrap my head around it. And today, to me, I feel like this is modern day, exactly what they fucking did then, except for it's with C-sections and what's the other word I'm trying to say? Inductions. Like, I don't know. If you look at the induction rate versus like C-section rate and things like that, and I know that they have these things for a reason, but I feel like they're way overused and misused. And I feel like doctors put a lot of pressure on people to do things that they don't even know anything about. I don't know. I get on my high horse about this.
Yeah, so for the record, don't watch that fucking documentary unless you're thinking about becoming bulimic and you need a good puke to remind yourself that you're not.
It was not. It was a good documentary.
No, it's full.
It just basically it talks about how hospitals are profiting off of birth in America and how like Western civilization has made a business out of birthing children versus in other countries where they take a much more holistic point and the midwife would be the first point of contact and then if necessary have a hospital step in. But in America, it's very backwards from that. It's everything's very hospitalized and very to me not that personal touch, and you're a patient, you're not a person, you know, and they're like treating birth as a symptom or a disease versus a fucking like miracle. Like you're creating a human, like, and not to like create like talk about animals, but like dogs and horses and monkeys and everybody can have babies without intervention, but for some reason like humans can't. We're the smartest, we're the most advanced species on the planet, yet we can't have birth without medical intervention. It just seems insane to me, but maybe I am the crazy one.
Yeah, are you done with your rant?
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Anyway, so I found a midwife. That went on a way big tangent.
Yeah, that did.
So we found a midwife, and she was awesome. Like, the first time we met her, I was just like, yep, I need this woman in my life.
Yeah, so we met with her, I think it was it the same day as the doula, or was it?
Yeah, it was, because she had said, like, well, I can meet you at my office in the afternoon, and you were like, she has an office? How does she have an office? She has home births, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, she's available this afternoon if you want to go by. And so you're like, I said, I'll just text her. And you're like, okay. So we met her at her office.
Well, I was like emotionally just burnt out and shot at this point. So I was just like, fuck it, let's go. I'm going to sit there in the corner and pout the whole time.
I don't think you did, though. You kind of listened to her.
Yeah, I did.
So we get there and we talk to her. What did you think about that?
She changed my mind, I think. I think it was... I wouldn't say that...
Talk about, like, her as, like, a practitioner. So she's a certified nurse midwife. It's not just, like, some hippie lady in a robe, like, showing up at your house singing Kumbaya. Like, she went to school for a very long time. She worked in a hospital. She worked in a birth center. Mm-hmm. I believe she just finished up whatever education it was to be a doctor.
Midwifery school.
Midwifery
something like
school, yeah.
I just got a kick out of that.
But anyway, so like she is a very experienced, educated individual. It's not just like we pulled somebody off the street and said, here, catch this baby, which I think is what you had thought.
Yeah, she's a certified whiffer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyways, so she changed her mind. How?
So she talked through all the, the stuff that she brings to the table. And she wasn't kidding when she got here. Oh my God, the stuff that she had. But
she had all the stuff.
Yeah. So she talked us through like, look, this is basically the hospital that I bring with me. I mean, she talked us through everything that she would do basically. And she's like, look, I can pretty much do everything that a hospital can do except a C-section, basically, right? Was there anything else that she wouldn't or couldn't do?
No, and there's like certain questions and things that she asks you because you can't be like a certain type of high risk category. You have to be very, very low risk, normal, typical pregnancy in order to have a home birth, So if you have, and this is something that you can talk to about like with your doctor, like your midwifery person. Your whiffer. But it does take a certain kind of candidate to be able to do that. But yeah, basically she had like all the backup systems, like if anything should happen, like there was a backup plan on top of a backup plan. This is what happened with this. This is what happened. Like she ran through every scenario with us.
Yeah. I mean, I think she even would bring like IVs and shit with her too, right?
Oh yeah. She had all that stuff. Yep.
So yeah. And then she was like,
and
look,
different medications and
yeah. So she made me feel pretty comfortable. And like you said, if there were any real risk that she saw ahead of time, she wouldn't do it.
No.
She'd tell you to go to a hospital. So
yep.
She kind of evaluated our pregnancy and just said, yeah, I think you're a prime candidate for a home birth. And on top of that, she was just like, look, if anything crazy happens, like we call an ambulance. The ambulance comes and picks you up and they take you to the hospital.
Yeah, it becomes an emergency just like it was if anything happened any other way,
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. She made me feel very reassured that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, I really liked her a lot. And then the other cool thing is she came out to our house for all the appointments and she had like pamphlets to give us every single time. She had like action steps, like this is what you guys need to do. This is what you need to look up. This is what you need to learn for next time. Mm-hmm. And her appointments were like an hour long. Like she let Oakland play with like all of her equipment. Yeah. Like she wasn't like a jerk about it. She
probably not common for all midwives though. Like I think she was kind of the right person for us too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you have to find your person, and she definitely fit.
Yeah, if there were only one midwife we could have had and it was somebody that was like a total stiff or just a D-bag, like
a D-bag. That wouldn't have worked. No.
Like if it was if it was like our one doctor we had, the PA, I would have been like, nope, fuck it. I'd rather deliver this kid myself.
Yep.
Then, and that was, oh my God, speaking of that, I don't know if you're ready to talk about that, but I had to go through like coaching for what could happen if I had to deliver the baby, if it came before.
When did you do that?
You remember that, didn't you?
No.
It was one of our last visits. She was like, look, it does take time for me to get out here. And if this thing progresses really fast, like, this is what you'd have to do if you have to deliver this baby.
So what did she say? I don't remember this.
I mean, pretty much.
I remember her giving you a pamphlet.
Yeah.
And then Oakland was being a turd, I think, so I wasn't listening.
It was pretty. I mean, it was basically like, here's the football, catch it. Like,
oh my God. I remember her saying something to you like, babies are slippery. So.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing, I think, was just like, don't drop the baby. Like.
Oh shit, that's too funny.
But. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that could happen. So
that was a big fear of mine because she said a lot of people like sitting on the toilet, and I don't think I really sat on the toilet a whole lot.
I don't think you did at all. You went to the bathroom a few times, but
I shit a whole bunch that morning.
Oh,
a whole bunch.
Gross.
I had the poops.
Girls don't poop.
Oh well, this girl did. Anyways, so midwife comes out. She has really long, awesome appointments. She's just. I don't know, just everything about her just made me feel like it was the right choice.
Yeah.
Like,
yep, I liked her a lot.
It would have had to been, but you're right. Like, if she wouldn't have been as awesome as she was, I don't think I would have switched because I wouldn't have felt comfortable with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, coming up, so, yeah, if you guys have more questions on that, just holler at me and I can do another episode just on kind of what it was like working with her. Oh, dog wants in. So, yeah, I probably leave her out. What's next? So then it was like, but anyways, we ended up switching. I think it was like 34 or 36 weeks. Like literally a month before he was coming, we switched.
Yeah, 95%.
Yeah. That was like, okay, we're doing it. And I think we had like weekly appointments with her. I think I had 4 appointments with her before the baby came.
Yeah, she even said like, normally I would do this, and this, but since you're so far along, we're just going to do this.
Yeah. And I was really happy that she took us because she only takes a certain amount of clients per month. And
I think she said she only takes one or two. One per expected month, just because she wanted to make sure that there weren't any conflicts.
Yeah. And I think she had a space open in August and she was like, I'll take you. And I was like, oh my God. Yay. Yeah. But then, we had to come up with all that money to pay her, and then we got reimbursed by insurance. Yeah. Which is a whole nother thing. Whole nother topic. Navigating the insurance side of things, but we don't have to talk about that today. Yeah. So that could go on for hours too. Mm-hmm. So we were doing like the guessing game, like when's he gonna come? Everybody was pretty sure he was gonna come the last, and we didn't know what we were having. So same thing like with Oakland, it was a surprise. But Will was right. He thought a boy. I went back and forth between boy and girl. Like, I think deep down, like, I knew he was a boy, but I just kept saying, like, everybody's wrong. It's going to be another girl. So I should have just listened to my gut. But, everything was just different. But, I mean, okay, so going back to, like, the pregnancy before I had him, that last trimester, I was insane.
Yeah, you were crazy. Like, crazy.
Explain to the people.
God, I don't even know if I can. You were just, not fun to be around.
It was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, you were like, I don't know, you're different, because you did. Is that a nice way of saying it?
I was different, or I'm different now?
You were different than with Oakland, because like I didn't want to say it, but you were going through the nesting phase.
With him or with Oakland?
With him.
Oh.
And you didn't really do that with Oakland, but with him you did. But I couldn't say that. I mean, I was like, oh, look at, she's cleaning everything. Like, look at her
I would have probably killed you.
Yeah, but if I would say that, it would have, you would have stopped, and I would have been, I don't know, you'd have shit on the floor just to, just to prove a point. But anyway, so you were doing that. And man, you were just a fucking crab ass.
What did I do? I mean, I know I kind of was, but...
Oh, my God. I think everything was my fault. I don't know. Everything. It was like... You just got really angry about everything.
I was very angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like... No sleep, no patience. The dog breathing would just send me over the edge. I remember, I don't know how many text messages I sent you saying, I'm going to kill this dog. She won't shut up. She won't stop snoring. And then when I put her outside, she just barked the whole time. I'm like, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. Well, I remember you kept trying to do podcasts and videos and stuff like that.
And she's clinking around in the background, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill this dog. He's gonna come home, his dog's gonna be dead.
Well, not even just the dog, like that one dog. I think you were ready to kill all the dogs at one point. I mean, it depended. I think at least once a day you were like, I'm selling all the fucking horses and I'm getting rid of all the dogs and I'm
selling everything and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you were not easy to live with. I know they say that pregnant women are. Yeah, I don't know. You were worse than I could have ever imagined.
I cried a lot too. I got so mad I cried a lot.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster. I don't remember being that bad with Oakland.
I don't remember. I think if you were that bad with Oakland, we wouldn't have had Brooks.
Oh, yeah, maybe. So yeah, pregnancy that last trimester was hard. And then it got to the point where it was just like 1,000 degrees outside. And I was like, but I wanted to get out of the house and do things because I felt cooped up.
Yeah.
But if I was outside for too long, I just sweat to death. I remember it was like fair week and we like went to all the fairs. I was walking around and I'm like, maybe this baby will come.
You wanted to though.
I know. I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to do things. But at the same time, I was like, what the fuck am I doing things?
Yeah. Probably didn't help your mood.
Yeah, I think it did a little bit to get out and like socialize and like see real humans. So, but yeah, so then I thought, oh, this baby's gonna, like, my guess was August 2nd. And that came and went. That was about a week before my official due date. And then that Monday, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even care anymore. Like, this baby's going to be 2 weeks overdue. Why am I even, like, worried about when this baby's going to come? And do you remember that?
Yeah. You were so bent. It was like, if it wasn't your day, it didn't fucking matter.
I was so upset about it.
And then you were like...
And then the next day...
You wanted him to be born on an even number day.
I did.
Like, you were determined. I think you wanted to try to keep him in just so that he could be born on an even number day. I'm okay with the
7, though. Like, if it would have been an odd day, I'm glad it was the 7th. I don't know how I would have felt about the 5th.
What?
I like 7 because it's like lucky number 7.
All right.
He's born on the 7th.
Whatever you say.
But yeah, I mean, 8/8 would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. It didn't matter. Really.
It didn't, yeah. What I thought did not matter at all. But yeah, on the 6th, I remember waking up and going about my day and doing all my things like normal. And then that afternoon, I remember I was texting you, or maybe it was early afternoon. I don't remember, but I texted you and I was like, ooh, I think this baby might come soon.
Because you started having more contractions.
Yeah, they were starting to get more and more. But I was trying to ignore them because I'm like, this baby's not fucking coming. I'm not getting my hopes up. Because it was going off and on for like that whole weekend. Because remember we were walking around the Plymouth County Fair and I was like, ooh, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm dying. Anyway, so I was trying not to get my hopes up. And they weren't bad enough to like where I had to stop really what I was doing. But like you couldn't ignore them anymore. And so then you got home and then I think I went into crazy mode again and I'm like, we got to get everything clean, we got to get everything ready, get the pool, get everything.
Fuck, we had that pool set up
like a week ahead of time.
A week ahead of time.
Well, because Oakland came a week early, I wanted to have a trial run.
Yeah.
So then what? So then I started having more and more contractions. Remember, because I was trying to like clean the house and like do dishes and sweep and mop and
yeah,
I was doing all the things. And in between them, I was like having a hard time, I think, every now and then. And then, I don't know, we stayed up till what, like 10 or 11 cleaning?
Yeah, I think so.
And we went to bed and I kept telling you like I was having a little bit more contractions, but I said I didn't know if it was anything regular enough to like keep an eye on. And I'm terrible. We never even timed them or did any of those things. I don't think we did them with Oakland either. Or maybe we tried to, but it just...
We did with Oakland, but like even the count your kicks type thing, I know they're big on counting kicks. We never did any of that.
I never did that. No. Kind of suck at that stuff. I just figured that if it felt wrong, it was wrong, but...
Yeah.
If something feels right, something probably not right. So anyways, I tossing and turning all that night. Kept having some contractions, just kept rolling back over and falling back asleep and telling myself like, it's no big deal, it's no big deal. And then at like 4:00, they started getting pretty intense.
Yeah, I think
I got
you
up at 5.
Oh, no,
I finally got out of bed at 5 and went
you?
and took a bath. Yeah, because I really started tossing and turning about 4 o'clock, and it was like toss, contraction, turn.
That's right. So you got up at 5, took a bath, and I think it must have been like 5:30. You woke me up and you were like, "Hey."
I called you. I was in the bathtub. I was like, I can't get out of the bathtub. He's contractions. I was like, I think it's go time.
Yeah, that's right.
I got up at like 5 and I woke you up and I said, hey, I'm going to go take a bath, see if these contractions go away. Because the last few days when I would take a bath, the contractions would go away.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it was to the point where like I could not ignore it anymore. And so I went downstairs and I like got the bath going and I had a couple contractions. And my water never broke. Like with Oakland, it broke like, boom, right away in the morning. With Brooks, it never broke. Well, it broke right before he was born in the pool. So it didn't really matter.
Right.
But yeah, so I got in the tub, and as soon as like I like laid down in the tub, it was like, oh shit! I don't know if it was the water or the position I was in, and then I was using that clary sage oil that they say that helps promote labor or whatever. It's like an essential oil, you know, like lavender's calming and, you know, all those things. So I was using lavender and clary sage and a couple others, and so I had some of that. And I don't know if that like intensified things. It felt like it intensified things. But then that's when I called you and I was like, you need to come down here and start calling people because we're going to have a baby. And you come down there. Or no, I said, come down here. I want you to count these.
Oh, yes.
So we did try to count them. The contractions. And they were like a minute and a half apart. And I think we did that for 5 or 10 minutes before I was like, just start calling people. Like,
I don't think it was even 10 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
So then what'd you do?
So I can't remember. I think I called my mom first, and my mom came out. She was going to come.
Oh, we called Sonia? No, we did call your mom first, didn't we?
I don't know.
Sonia or your mom?
Yeah, one of them. And because my mom was going to come out, and she was going to watch Oakland and take care of the dogs and shit, and the horses, just, you know, basically make it so that we didn't have to think about anything other than having a baby. And we called Sonia, and I'm pretty sure she didn't answer.
No, she did. Her and Sierra said that they didn't sleep at all that night because I texted her the night before and I said, keep your phone on because I think we're going to have this baby in the morning. But when I tried calling her a couple days before that, she didn't get back to me until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, you would have missed the whole damn thing.
Oh, that's right. That's what
if you didn't keep your phone on. Yeah.
Okay, so that's right. So then I called Sierra and called the doula. And then the doula called the midwife.
Yeah. But everybody got here between like 6 and 7.
Yeah. I think the doula was the first one, wasn't she?
She was. She was like on it.
Yeah,
like
she
I
was.
could not believe how quick she got. She beat your mom here and we called her last.
Yeah.
Your mom like lollygagged though. She got some food and some other stuff though.
Yeah, she bring donuts and stuff for everybody?
Yeah, she brought all kinds of stuff. And then she ended up going back and getting a whole bunch of pizza.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she ran like all the errands.
Yeah, she was a super grandma.
She was. So then what happened?
So the doula got here, or what did I fill? Yeah, I started filling up the what is it?
The tub.
The tub or whatever.
That only took like a half hour, 45 minutes. We did a practice run, so we kind of knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Well, you did anyways. I was like pacing around the house.
Yeah. So got that thing filled up, or was filling up, and then the doula got here, and to be honest, with as resentful as I was when we met with her, like, she was a super big help.
Yeah.
Like, by the time it was all said and done, like, I was so glad we had her. She was very helpful. Like, if I needed a break, she was right there to step in and, like, help out. So I don't know. I would totally do the doula thing again.
Really?
And I was very against it, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. She was very helpful. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I know. I was so mad that you wanted to have a fucking
You were so mad. Like,
yeah. Yeah,
My theory is though, what do they say? It's easier to do it and ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So
So she got here, and then Sonia got here. And Sonia, surprisingly, was just like a fly on the wall, like she said she was going to be.
Yeah.
She wanted to... So Sonia's my sister, for those of you who don't know my immediate family. And she's also a photographer, so all of my photos are actually done by her. For business, personal, family, all of my photos are done through Shea Photography.
Shout out.
Shout out. And... she kept saying, like, I wanted to shoot the birth, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But
and
then,
I was a hard no.
Oh, that's right.
I did not.
I forgot about that.
I was like, no, we don't need vagina pictures flashing all over the internet.
Stop it. It's just a vagina. I didn't care.
Yeah,
but we can get into the pictures here in a minute. Well, since we're on pictures, how did you feel about all the pictures?
I thought the pictures were okay.
Explain.
Some of them were good, like...
What do you mean by good?
Like I don't know, some of the raw emotion.
There was a lot of emotion in those pictures.
Yeah, so some of them were good and some of them are like, meh, I kind of wish that one wasn't out there, but...
Like what?
I don't know.
The one with my boobs?
Maybe the one...
or with my butt?
Maybe the boob ones, the butt ones... I don't know. There were some that were like
There's
a
one
little
with like
too
a whole,
raw.
There was one like with a whole bunch of blood in the tub too.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah.
Which we'll talk about what happened there.
Yeah. So some of those, just rein it in a little bit.
So doula comes, Sonia comes, midwife comes. Everybody's here. It's like 7:00, and I'm doing pretty good with labor, I think, right now. I'm walking around the house. I'm breathing. You guys are massaging me. I'm stretching. I'm drinking water.
Yep.
Shitting my brains out. Getting all the poops out. Getting all the pipes clean. I did the same thing with Oakland. You remember that?
No, because girls don't poop.
Well, the hospital was like, you can't poop. And I was like, I'm going to shit all over this floor if you don't let me go into the bathroom right now. So yeah, I was getting all the poops out. And I tried to eat a little bit, but it wasn't working. They got me like a protein shake or something I was sipping on, I think.
Yeah.
And so we had a tub. We'll talk about that for a minute. It was not very much extra to have her bring out her tub, so we rented a tub. We didn't buy a tub because tubs are freaking expensive. I think tubs can be anywhere from like, what were they, like $500 if you bought one?
I think so.
And they like go up from there. Like actual birthing pools. I think you can get like cheapy like blow up pools, but I wasn't about to put a $10 blow up pool on our hardwood floors and watch that ruin the entire side of the house. So
yeah.
But yeah, so like putting tarps down and all that stuff. But I wasn't really like, I don't know, I wasn't set on a water birth like at all. Like I just figured, if the pool was there, maybe we'd use it,
Mm-hmm.
And if we didn't, we didn't. I really didn't care too much about it. And so yeah, what was I doing? I was walking around the house, leaning on cabinets, leaning on chairs.
Yeah.
Lots of leaning.
And we brought a bed down too, because we put a bed
right.
in our living room because they suggested, just have a bed on the main floor. So that way, because our bedrooms are upstairs, that way, after the baby's born, like you guys are all down here, not having to worry about going up and downstairs. Because, just from all my birthing experience, from all the babies I've had, I've always been really sore in the vagina and not really wanting to walk up and downstairs. So I said, my vagina was sore after the last time, so let's just put a bed on the main floor. And so you spent some time on the bed, just trying different positions, just trying to get comfortable, and we did like massages and like the hip press type thing
that
where you try to push. Yeah. And what's the cloth thing?
Rebozo, yeah.
Yeah.
Like RoboCop keeps coming to mind. I'm like, it's not a RoboCop.
So we used that and did some different things. Anyways, you just got to the point you're like, yeah, let's give the pool a try. Let's get in there. So you got in there and
I got out a couple times.
Yeah. And but you were pretty comfortable in there. And then I think
the water was like oddly comforting. Like as soon as I got in there, it was like I don't know if it just like helped lift my belly up or what, but it was like the contractions were not as intense in the tub.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got in there and I guess we're comfortable enough, but then I think contractions got a little bit worse as things started to progress, and like you said, you didn't plan on the water birth, but then...
Oh, it was like, I'm not fucking getting out of the tub.
It was like, all right, I want to get out. Oh, fuck, now I can't get out. We're in here.
Nope. Yep. Once I was in there. So I went in, then I felt like I was getting kind of soggy and I wanted to get out. Oh, I had to pee. That's what it was. Because they were like, don't pee in the water.
Yeah.
And so I got out and I peed and I kind of walked around. And at this point, I'm like just in a bra. Like, I don't even think I had any pants or anything on because she checked me a couple times, which was actually, I didn't want to be checked. Like, I didn't want anything done. I was just like, just come here. And if I need you, I need you. And they would monitor, like heartbeats and stuff like that. But I think it was about 9 o'clock.
Well, yeah, they said that, a lot of women get checked and can get discouraged because they don't think they progressed as far as they should have. And that's what
I didn't want. So I was like, I don't want to be checked. But then I got to the point where I was like...
Flip side of that, like, you kind of want to know where you're at and
how long this is going to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after being in, like, pretty hardcore labor... Well, I guess it wasn't even hardcore yet. It was starting to progress to more. And it was about 9 o'clock. And she's like, well, do you want me to check you? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Just check me. And I was a little over a 7, which we were all like, well, I was very excited about that because I was way farther along than I thought I was. And I was like, hell, if I can make it up to this, like, we are golden.
Yeah, because you've done really good up to that point.
I thought I did. Are you being serious or sarcastic?
Yes, yeah, I'm being serious. I'm not even joking right now.
I'm not even joking. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I was pretty, like, calm, cool, collected, like, just walking around and, like, doing really well. And then after that next hour, I would say, got pretty intense. And then that's when, like, Oakland woke up.
Yeah.
And she was around for a little bit, but then things really started to intensify. So I was like, your mom needs to get her out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want her to see this.
Yep. So they left.
But it didn't get really crazy until after the second check, which was 10:30-ish, maybe. Mm-hmm. And it was at a 9.5.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And she's like, you have a cervical lip. Mm-hmm. Otherwise you're like a 9.5. So she's like, if you want, I can push this out of the way. And it will, she said, it will hurt, but it'll be like ready to go kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you're already in there. You might as well do it kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think that was a mistake.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was like, that was the worst. It was the worst. It hurt so bad.
You about jumped. You were about on the face. Ceiling. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I mean, it wasn't hilarious.
It was not funny.
No, but just looking back, you were like, zing.
It was like, you might as well have just like pinched my spine and then stabbed me with 1,000 needles. Oh my God, it was like the worst. And after that, what? Oh, I know. He's snoozing.
Yeah.
He's got his arms up. I got his passy. But, yeah, after that, it was like, I could not get back into that, like, concentration. Like, it was so hard to get back into, like, that, like, breathe, calm, relax, like...
Yeah, it was tough from that point on.
That, like, shock of pain sent me into, like, a whole nother dimension. Like, I was just out of it from there.
So how did you get back into the pool?
I went back into the pool, like, immediately after that.
Okay.
Because I was like, this fucking hurts. Okay. It hurts so bad. And then contractions were like, and then she goes, well, if you want, I can break your water. And I was like, nope. Nope.
Keep your hands away from my zone.
Get out of here. No, I basically said in my mind, if my water doesn't break by noon, then I'll have her break my water. And that was at like 10:30-ish. And then, yeah, I got back in the water because he was born at 11:43, so maybe it was closer to 11 o'clock by then.
Probably.
Because I don't think I pushed for more than a half an hour.
I don't remember everything.
It was like a half hour, 45 minutes maybe. So I get back in the tub, and then it was like go time then. Like, the contractions were like one on top of another on top of another, and you said that... I was like swishing all around.
You just couldn't get comfortable. You didn't know how this delivery was going to happen. So you were trying to find the best way to deliver a baby in a pool of water.
Well, when you say it that way, it was like terrible.
I don't know how. if you think about like those fake movie shark attacks, where like you can't see anything under the water, but you know that something's got them under there, and it's like swirling them around in a circle. That's what you.
I'm gonna pee my pants. I gotta pee so bad, but I don't want to get up.
That's what you looked like in that pool. It was just like you were whipping around that thing.
I was
you were
so uncomfortable.
front, back. You were like. Oh, like a freaking WWE wrestler on the top turnbuckle. Then you were like,
I don't know what that means.
No, you were all over the place.
I was all over the place. I do remember that.
But you eventually got comfortable. Or, I don't know.
And then what happened?
Yeah. Oh, then it got crazy.
I started getting nauseous.
Yep, so... I don't know whose idea it was.
I don't know either. But all I remember is me like ringing in my... I felt so embarrassed and I was like, get this thing out of my face.
Okay, so somebody brought out a metal pot.
It was for the placenta.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
I don't know. It was a metal pot. And she was like, okay, I'm going to puke. And so that was the closest thing. So somebody grabbed this metal pot. So she's got her head stuck
oh my God.
in this like metal pot. And she's like... Yeah, that, and then the contractions, it was screaming contractions,
and it was like echoing,
ringing,
so loud.
So she like freaked out, like, get this fucking thing away from me!
Get this fucking pot out of my face!
And so we grabbed a trash can from there, and that was better. But oh my God, the pain was very intense.
It was so much worse than Oakland, so much worse, and I think it was because he was bigger. And he was a little sideways. Remember, he was kind of like, like he didn't do like a full rotation. So he was kind of like sideways in my pelvis. So he was putting insane amounts of pressure like on my tailbone and like butt area. It was so much different than Oakland. But yeah, so then I was trying to get in like a comfortable spot and I don't know. I just kept screaming. Like I couldn't stop screaming. Like with Oakland, I don't feel like I screamed at all.
Yeah, I don't remember it being like that either. It was intense.
Sonia said she started crying.
Did she? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was like, you were in so much pain and you was so close to being born and I just wanted to help and I didn't know what to do. And
yeah, that was probably one of the hardest parts for me is like there's nothing I could do other than try to like help talk you through it because
it was so bad.
Yeah, I could tell that you were like in some serious pain, but it was like I don't know what to do. How can I help?
I don't even know how to describe it.
You don't know how to tell me how I can help you. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, you definitely went through, like, the stages of birthing that they talk about. Because you were, like, really concentrated and focused. And then, you went through some, like, serious pain. And then you definitely went through the, like...
The transition.
I can't do this.
I did. Like, at one point, like, he was so close to being born. And I had pushed a few times. And he was I could feel him. And I just felt so defeated. Like I was like running out of energy and like it wasn't as easy as I wanted it to be. As easy as birth could be, I guess. But yeah, I just got to the point. Yeah, it's that transition period where you're just like, I fucking give up. Like I can't do this anymore. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. Why are we doing this? Why am I here?
Yeah. And that's kind of when the midwife really stepped in. I think that's the first time
that she checked heartbeats and, was checking on him and she kept saying like baby's happy or baby's this or baby's that. Mm-hmm. And she kept updating us on baby. But yeah, he was in the birth canal, like way down deep for quite a few minutes. And so she checked his heart rate again and she's like, okay, baby's not happy anymore. Like, you need to dig deep and figure out how you're going to get this baby out. And I was like, oh my God.
She didn't say figure out.
You need to figure it out.
No, she didn't. She coached you through it and kind of
I don't remember what she said. I just remember that being like what my brain processed is like, okay, this is my last chance. Because if I don't get this kid out right now, people are going to intervene and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what she said. I was so like out of it. Like I was like in and out of consciousness, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What did she say?
You were like screaming and she was like, no, you need to like have low screams and like.
And I remember that
pushing
after she
down.
said that, I remember reading that where they're like, you have to like bear down and like the versus like the because it comes from different areas.
You were definitely
it was uncontrollable. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, it just kept coming out of my mouth. And I was like, I can't stop this. Somebody slap me. Make it stop. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that's what I remember her saying, like, baby's not happy. And that's, like, the only thing that, like, registered. And I was like, what? Baby's not happy? Okay, get this sucker out of here.
Yeah.
And, I think only, like, 2 more pushes and he came flying out.
Yeah. I remember she had you feel him, too. You could feel the top of his head coming out.
Yep.
So I think that kind of was, like, made it really real.
Well, because I kept saying, like, can you see him? Is he there? Is it coming? Like, how much longer? And she's like, feel. Like, he's right there. He's right there. I was like, oh my God. Oops, I don't want to put my phone down.
Yeah, so then he came out, and then
he came flying out.
Yeah, what happened from
there? I'm, like, sitting kind of on my back. My butt's kind of, like, suspended from, like, the water or whatever, and my feet are, like, on both sides, and I'm, like, hanging on to, like, these grips or whatever. And you were behind me, and then the doula was on my left, and the midwife was on my right, kind of down by my right leg or whatever. To catch him. Yep, basically. So I lean back, and I'm just, like, pushing as hard as I freaking can. Like, took a big old deep breath, and just, like, I don't even remember. Oh, it was so insane. Anyways, he came flying out, and I don't know how it happened, and the midwife said that this is the first time she's ever seen that. She'd only read about it, but his umbilical cord tore in half on the way out.
It didn't tear in half, it just tore.
It tore. It was only hung on by a piece of it. It was almost completely through.
Yeah, I don't know. But then there was a lot of...
She showed it to me. There was a ton of blood.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood.
There was a ton of blood.
Yeah.
But she pinched it off, like, immediately. Like, I didn't even know what happened. That's how quick that she, like, caught it.
She was, like, right on the spot.
Yeah.
She was very quick.
She was really, really quick. And so she clamped it and did all the things, like, before, like, probably less than 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It was immediate. Like, we had no idea. And I didn't even know what was happening for, like, another 5 minutes. And she goes, so this happened, and this is what we did, and this is why we did it. And she was kind of, like, walking through everything. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, okay. But she was, like, paying extra close attention to him to make sure that he didn't lose a whole lot of blood or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, he didn't cry, like, immediately. But he cried, I want to say, like, within that first minute. He didn't come out crying.
No, he didn't.
Like, they threw him on my chest. I grabbed him and he put him on my chest. She clamped him.
Yep. Yeah, it was weird. Like, I guess you think about...
Because he can't, like, cry on the way out because he's underwater.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I was like, well, can't, like, babies drown when they're born underwater or whatever?
I don't think so.
No, I know. Well, I mean, I'm sure they could, but, you know, you think about it.
If you leave them under there forever, I suppose they could.
But they're in your stomach with fluid and stuff, so they're not breathing, you know, air anyways. So when they come out, like, you know, I don't know.
They couldn't take a breath.
They couldn't take a breath anyways, So at least immediately, till they cough the junk out.
Yep. So that's the thing. He's coughing the junk out, and they're suctioning him out and stuff like that. His mouth and his eye, or his suction his eyes out. I'm getting tired.
His nose and his mouth.
His nose and his mouth. Yeah. And she clamped him, and we just kind of hung out in the pool for a few minutes.
Yeah.
While she did all of that, and then we got out and went to the bed so that we could all warm up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the other thing. They didn't want to leave him in the water because babies get cold in the water. They get cold
very fast, she said.
Yeah.
So everybody, like, threw a bunch of towels on me, a bunch of blankets on me, and then we went over to the bed, and then she checked him out some more, just to make sure that he was still doing okay or whatever. And then she let me start feeding him, and then I delivered the placenta, like, half hour later, maybe.
Yeah, if that.
No, it might have not been. It might have been 15 minutes or so, which was totally weird because I didn't get to see any of that the first time. I didn't even know that it happened the first time. They just, like, tugged on it and it came flopping out, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's just what I assume happened, I guess. I don't know.
It just flopped right out.
Bloop. Yep. Like a big old turd.
Yeah. Flubber right on the floor.
Did you see it the first time?
I did, yeah.
What did it look like?
Just like it did the second time.
And what does that look like?
A big old bloody mushroom.
It does kind of look like a mushroom, huh?
Gross, yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, I don't know how some women can eat that.
Oh, that's right. We still have ours, though. I gotta plant it.
Where?
In the freezer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They say that you can plant them with a tree for your babies.
Yeah, I don't...
I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah, I hope not.
No. I'm gonna chop it up and make spaghetti sauce out of it. You'll
Oh
never
my
know.
God, I'm a fucking dick.
So we're hanging on the bed. And Oakland came back about a half hour later. Holy smokes, it's getting late. And she got to meet her baby brother. She was very excited about it.
She was very excited about it.
Your mom started crying. I think everybody was crying at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
I think everybody was crying right away. I didn't cry right away. I cried after we got on the bed. And I was like, oh my God. But they're like, it's a boy. And you're like, it's a boy.
I was very excited it was a boy.
I was not surprised.
Yeah.
What else?
The midwife and the doula pretty much cleaned up everything.
Everything. They cleaned everything. They did laundry. They emptied the
Yeah.
pool. Everything. They cleaned everything. They did like dishes and put all the food from breakfast away. And then lunch, they put lunch away. Everything. They did everything.
Yeah. And they hung around for a while too. Because I think that, like, the midwife said that she would stay for, up to 6 hours after the birth just to, do the checks and make sure everything was okay. So it wasn't like, baby was born. All right, peace out. Now you're stuck with this baby.
Yep.
So they hung out for a while. And I think my mom went and got lunch for everybody. And
Yep.
Yeah.
No, and she hung out. Yeah, the midwife hung out for 4 or 6 hours afterwards. I think she was only here for maybe like 4 hours.
Right.
Did all of her checks, made sure baby was okay. Told us, like if this happens, this happens, this happens. You need to call me or 911 like immediately. Like don't hesitate. Get to the hospital if this happens or this happens. So she gave us kind of like a checklist of things to look for. And yeah, he was here.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it all now? After the whole home birth experience, what do you feel like?
Honestly, I'd rather go to a hospital. And not even for the same reasons that I wanted to begin with. Like,
how come?
Not because I feel like the home birth is not the safest option. Like, that part of it, I would totally be okay with a home birth.
Oh, yeah.
But for us anyways, I like the idea of, like, I pack a bag, you pack a bag, and we fucking go somewhere else and, like, leave all the shit
like
at
a
home.
mini vacation?
Kind of. Like, that's the only thing that you have to worry about.
A weekend away to have a baby?
Yes. Kind of. I mean...
Yeah, I suppose, because that's one thing, like, with home birth is you have to feed yourself. Like, you have to feed yourself, you have to clean up after yourself, you have to get everything ready.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, literally you pack a bag and you just go to the hospital and everything's ready there for you. Yeah. Versus here, it was like, we had to get everything ready for the baby ahead of time just in case. We didn't know when it was going to come.
Yeah, we had to get a birth kit and we had to make sure that we had food and water. Okay, he's starting to wake up. Here, you want to hold that? I know, baby. Sleepy butt. There. But yeah, we had to get everything ready. It wasn't, I mean, they don't do any preparation. Like, it's not like the midwife shows up with all the stuff. Like, you're responsible for all your own supplies. We had to buy gauze and tape and Chuck's pads or whatever they're called. And then, like, pads for me and all the aftercare sprays and just everything. Like, any little thing that you can think of, we had to purchase. All of, like, the stuff, like, medical equipment she had.
Yeah, we had to buy like towels and stuff like that.
And then you have to order like the birth kit from the state that has like the birth certificate and social security card. And you have to do all of that because the hospital does that for you if you go to the hospital. So we had to do all that ourselves. Overall, I really liked the home birth experience. I do think that this birth was a heck of a lot harder than with Oakland's. I know that could be because he was bigger. He was kind of like in there funky. And I did not work out nearly as much as I did with Oakland. No. I think that like I was in really good shape, like really great shape when I got pregnant with him up until that first of trimester. And then like after that, it was just like all motivation was gone. Like I went for walks and that was like as much as I could do.
Yeah.
Like going from like pretty solid workouts to like just walking, and I would do squats, and that was like it. And that just wasn't, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was enough. No, it was really hard. And for some reason, like, I keep thinking like the whole screaming in the fucking tin can thing. Ugh. That stands out to me. Like, I wish that wouldn't have happened. Like, who thought that was a good idea? It's beyond me, because I'm now traumatized for life from that fucking spaghetti pan thing. I don't even, it's like a boiling pot. I don't even, what would you call that? A cauldron.
Cauldron. Well,
I don't know what you call it.
I was living with a witch for a while.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed, like, I loved having a midwife come and do our appointments here. Like, I just loved that.
Yeah.
I loved being able to, like, walk around in my own clothes. I loved that there wasn't a million freaking people here. I loved that I wasn't, like, hooked up to monitors and being poked and prodded and told what I can and cannot eat or where I can go and what I can do. Like, I liked all that part of it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, for me, it was really, I mean, I looked at it like, yes, I would much rather have a baby at a hospital, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to actually push this kid out of your cooter. So
yeah.
I was like, if that's what you want to do, then I'm going to suck it up, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. I know it took several conversations for us to both be on the same page.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it just happened overnight. We had talked about it, and you were like, nope, done talking about this. And I'm like, but we're not. But we're not done yet. Yeah. But no, I don't know. It just felt really normal and natural and, dare I say, like, easy up until like that last like hour. I wouldn't say was easy, but everything before that and after that, I would say was pretty freaking easy.
Yeah. Well, it was more work for me, but I know it was better for you in the end.
It was just nice to be in our own bed, and like Oakland could be there, and we got to, like, I don't know, it was just nice. I remember, like, at the hospital, every couple of hours you had like nurses coming in and like poking you and poking your baby and like doing all the things, and it's like, God dang it, just like leave us alone.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have that family time. I really enjoyed that part of it a lot. Yeah. Now he's here.
He's here.
He's sleeping on mama.
And he's growing like crazy.
We'll have to do another podcast about what life was like with two that first couple months, because it was not easy.
So easy. Oh my God.
It was not easy at all.
If we could only go back and do it again.
Oh, stop it. He was a totally different baby than Oakland.
Totally different. We'll leave it at that.
All right. So that's it, guys. That's our birth story in a nutshell. A whole hour and 15 minutes of it. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So if you guys enjoyed this, you'll have to let us know. Maybe Will can be my co-pilot on these episodes.
Yeah, I'm glad you all had the chance to meet me.
Make sure that you send me all the emails so that I can forward them to him.
Don't be afraid to tell me how awesome I am.
Oh my God. But yeah, show us some love. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode. Tag me on Instagram. Tag me on Facebook. Sasha.Davis. And let us know what questions you have. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for listening to the Confidence Coach podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I want to invite you to leave a 5-star review and share what you loved most about this episode. You can also screenshot and share it on social media. Tag me at sasha.davis. And if you're looking for additional resources, head on over to sashadavis.com. Check out ways that you can work with me and all the free resources that are available to you. Have a kick-ass day.